We are ready, Master.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. We are here at DTT in our first Dharma talk of the 4G. How is your day so far? Any comments? Any things you'd like to relate to us? It's nice to have you here. Okay, keep it up. All right. As usual, when you practice this intensively, we try to bring you the proper Dharma so that you will be, the proper Dharma has a way of rectifying your cultivation. So that's why it's very important for you to listen to the proper Dharma when you practice. Okay, and what better Dharma than listening to Master YongHua's Pure Land teachings. So that's what we've been doing at all these Pure Land assemblies. We listen to his teachings because I've never really heard investigated that well myself. So I'm also learning with you, and so we're all learning together. So I really welcome this opportunity. All right, we're continuing where we left off the last time. He's talking about his experience when he was younger and he was in China. China was going through a revolution. This is a long time ago. And he was staying at a temple in China, and they had to run away because the communist army was coming their way. And so as he was seeing that event happening, unfolding, he suggested to the abbot, Master Mingguan, and he says, you should, he made 3 suggestions. And Master Mingguan, thank you, didn't take his advice to heart. So this is a process that he went through. So Master YongHua, not only did he have wisdom, but he also was able to see the future. He has a spiritual eye, so he sees the future unfolding. So with that, he gave advices Master to the abbot. And we continue with that story. Okay, so this is sort of like he was, although he's very talented, had wisdom, but he had no desire to have a temple for himself. Yeah. And so another aspect of his life where he's really not after temples, after disciples or fame and recognition and so forth. Okay, all right. So let's continue. So he had trouble with brewing between him and the abbot, and let's see how it unfold. Okay, continue, please. Feel free, as usual. Feel free to interrupt us and ask any questions that might arise.
Master, actually, where we left off was we read it up to 359.
59.
And there's no audio for this part, so it was just me reading the Chinese and the English, and someone else reads the English.
Okay.
And you left it off on slide 340.
Okay. 359 or 340?
340. So there's no audio, but we read up to 359.
From here on, no audio, right? That's what you said. Yeah. Okay. It's okay. Bear with me. I'm old and forgetful. All right. So what do? We read the English, or how does that work? How did we do it the last time?
We read everything up to 359. We read the story. Do you want us to read the story again, starting this slide?
Up to 59?
Yeah.
Okay, let's read it again, please.
Okay. I think Emily's gonna read the English.
Sangwoo couldn't read the English?
Emily at Way Mountain Temple.
Okay. Hello, Em.
Hi, Shifu. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
He grumbled, young people shouldn't be afraid of hardship. I was unhappy with him. You old venerable master, really?
他就这么念，年纪轻轻的，不好怕辛苦啊！我就很不高兴的，你这个老和尚，简直的。
I have illness and skipped the morning ceremony, and you act like this? All right, I got up. I didn't even have 1 penny on me.
我有毛病，没去做早课，你就这么样？好了，我就起身，我手里头连1个 cent 都没有。
Hungding and I didn't have any money. I went out looking for layman Chen Quanman.
我和恒定2个人根本没有钱，我就出去找一个陈宽满居士。
Upon seeing him, I said, I'm going to Hong Kong today. Are you going? Yes, I'm going. Then buy an air ticket for me.
我一见到他就说：“我今天去香港，你去不去香港？”我去啊，你给我买飞机票啦。
Okay. Emily, slow down a little. Pretend you're Master Shenhua. Don't talk like a girl.
Yes, Shifu.
Continue.
So he purchased 2 tickets for me. Then I went back and requested a leave of absence from Venerable Master Mingguan.
他就给我买2张飞机票，我就再回来向这个明官和尚告假。
I said, I'm leaving. He said, don't leave. Let's live and die together and go through hardships together.
我说我要走了，他说你不要走啊，我们大家同生死共患难嘛。
You are undergoing hardship. I won't live or die with you. You may want to die early, but I won't live or die with you.
Don't get excited. Slow down.
你患难，我不同你同生死。你想早一点死，我是不同你同生死的。
And then, are you going to Hong Kong? He asked. In Hong Kong, I don't know if you know this guy.
这么样，哦，你到香港，只叫一个在香港，你们大家认识不认识？
He was Venerable Master Mingguan's attendant back then. Venerable Master Mingguan asked the attendant, Lu Zhou, to withdraw 10 Hong Kong dollars to give to me.
那时他给明官和尚做侍者，就要卢某某领10块钱港币送给我。
Lu Zhou put the $10 bill in my hand. I took it and dropped it on the floor. I don't want your money.
卢某某把10块钱港币放在我手里，我拿起来就掉到地下。我不要你的钱。
I dropped it on the floor and Lu Zhou picked it up and returned it to Venerable Master Mingguan.
丢到地上，卢某某捡还给明官和尚。
Later, Venerable Master Mingguan arrived in Hong Kong as well. When he saw me, he regretfully said,
后来他也到香港，见到我，他后悔了。
If I would have taken your 3 suggestions, I wouldn't have suffered so much. He was almost in tears.
我若接受你的3个条件，我就不会那么受苦了，就要落泪的样子。
Suffering, but your beard is still so long. It's no big deal how you still have your beard. Now you still have your beard.
受苦，胡子还这么长，没有所谓的。现前你的胡子还在吗？
I joked with him, your beard is still so long. Your beard is still long. And I pulled at his beard.
我这么跟他开玩笑，你还这么长的胡子，我拉着他的胡子。
Venerable Master Mingguan had a good resolve for the way.
明观和尚这个人道心还好的，
He was afraid of making a mistake in cause and effect, so he dared not to do what he had heard.
怕错因果，所以听的事情他不敢做。
In fact, he took the first of the 3 suggestions. He could have led a good life in Hong Kong.
实际上，3个条件，他若接受第一个条件，可以到香港好好过日子。
For instance, had he really moved Liu Rong Temple to Hong Kong, he would have still been a high venerable master, a revered abbot.
譬如，他要是真把六榕寺搬到香港来，他还是大和尚、大方丈一座。
He wouldn't be like the first few years in Hong Kong, suffering all over the places, including his toothache.
不会像他在香港前几年各处受好多苦，牙也痛。
I think that's
When
it,
he
right?
held the Chan-
It's up to you,
359?
Master. Yes.
Okay, let's stop there. Okay, 340. So continuing, they had some disagreement. The abbot was not happy, and he said, young people are weak. You're so afraid of hardship. It's not just that time, but nowadays as well. And the younger people get more and more, become more and more reluctant of hardship. Okay, maybe it has to do with the fact that the parents suffered so much that they tried to shield their children from hardship. So that's why the children got softer and softer. Okay, and that's why I noticed too, everywhere, not just in Master Shenhua's times. And so the abbot Mingguan was complaining to Master Shenhua directly, "You're young and you shouldn't be afraid of hardship." And Master Shenhua immediately expressed his displeasure. He said, "You really don't understand me at all." Okay, that's what young people do. Master, you don't get it. You don't understand me at all. And what I'm not clear here on slide 341 is, I have illness. Is it referring to Master Shenhua speaking or the abbot speaking? Mingguan speaking. I'm asking you Chinese-speaking people. Which one is it? Professor Jane, you usually have an opinion.
I think it's Master Mingguan.
Master Mingguan?
Yeah. 哎，不干嘛？因为我是分手，他这么念。Oh, it's Master Shenhua. Sorry, I apologize.
So Master Shenhua, he said, I was not feeling well and skipped the morning ceremony, and you act like this. I don't think that he was not feeling well. Usually he skips something is because he's busy doing something else. Okay, he's too young to be skipping his morning ceremony for some sort of illness. Okay, usually he meddles into a lot of people's business. Wherever he goes, he secretly helps a lot of people. Okay, and they need help day and night, and so at his age, I don't think he would be handicapped by any sort of physical ailments. I doubt it very much. His spiritual power is just too strong. for them to be able to catch him for the morning ceremony alone, and then he's able to continue working or coming and join the assembly later. Okay, unlikely. Okay, but anyway, so he said, see, this is what he does. He helps quietly and then secretly, and then he doesn't tell anyone at all. So he said, I have some illness and I have to skip the morning ceremony, and you're not happy with me. And so this is from a monk of his level of wisdom, to me, is an excuse for him to leave the temple, to leave the abbot, okay? Because he's not the kind of person who would quit on you, okay? And so, Master Shenhua by nature is very loyal, okay? So as long, it's too bad Master Mingguan didn't understand it. This is my interpretation. Because had he been more forthcoming and direct with Master Shenhua and so forth, it wouldn't have not been the case. But because it's the kind of relationship interaction between them is not straightforward. That's why they had a lot of miscommunications. And I was never that close to Master Shenhua, but I can guess in his state of mind, his value systems. This is not the kind of monk who would quit on you when you're in need, in particular. He saw that Master Mingguan was in trouble, he was struggling, and he's heading for even bigger troubles. I don't think he would deliberately skip out on Master Mingguan, leave him to his devices. It's not Master Shenhua's style, okay? It's not how he behaves. People with wisdom never do that, okay? But because Master Mingguan clearly, at this point in time, was unhappy with Master Shenhua, said, I have all sorts of troubles from the political situation and the hardships happening in the temple, and I'm worried about this money matters, and people are leaving me, the monks are leaving me, and so forth. And now on top of it, you're not doing your job as head of the assembly. That's what the abbot probably was thinking. So Master Shenhua now uses opportunity to say, if you're not happy with me, between parentheses, then let me get out of your way. Okay? This is one lesson I feel that I get from this, is that he won't quit on you. Loyalty matters, folks, when you cultivate. Okay? And so he left. Even though he had no money, he said, this is a time for me to go. So he basically left because it's an opportunity for him to leave. Okay? But he didn't have any money on him. And Heng Ding, I don't know who Heng Ding was. Heng Ding is probably his disciple. Heng is his disciple's level, right? Heng Ding. And so Heng Ding later, Heng Ding is his disciple who followed Master Shenhua. Now I see the connection. Maybe that's the case. And later, Heng Ding was allowed to go into seclusion somewhere in the island of in Hong Kong later, and he became enlightened. Okay. So anyway, so they both had no money. Okay. Lesson number 2, you cultivate. You don't want to be burdened by monetary things, by money. And this explains why Master Shena has so much wisdom, and his disciples, Heng Ding, was a very powerful cultivator. Okay? So they both had no money, and so we're now looking for layman Chen. Trấn Khoan Mạn. All right, and has some sort of lay person there that they probably has a close relationship with Master Shenhua, and that's why he felt comfortable asking him for money. Okay, so he says, "I'm going to Hong Kong." I said, "Are you going?" So that layman said, "Yes, I'm going." Then, "Will you buy an air ticket for me?" And so I think he's dropping Heng Ding there. He says, "Heng Ding, maybe you should live even more poorly without me." It sounds like it. Huh? He's loyal to the boss, but not his disciples. That's reasonable to me. Why? Don't make a face like that. You disagree? But it turns out that the layman was understood what he meant. You're going to buy a ticket for me, and so buy me some tickets. So he purchased 2 tickets, meaning one for him, one for his disciple Heng Ding. And then after he got that, he came back and asked for permission to leave. Okay, there is, I guess it may have to do with the Asian protocol, where you enter a temple, you say, you bow to the Buddhas and so forth, and when you see the abbot, you bow to the abbot. And when you leave the temple, like he's taking leave of the temple, he asks for permission. He wouldn't just decide to leave on his own without saying anything. Okay, and so he said, "I'm leaving." So the abbot says, "Don't leave. Okay, let's live and die together, go through hardships together." It is so Chinese. You guys say that, but I know you don't mean it. Do you? It's like let's live like brothers. We share the hardship, and then you help me become richer, more famous, because you're my younger brother. Someone has to be famous. Why? Might as well be me. Okay, so that's what he means, I think. Because I think in that time there's like a seniority. Your older brother, therefore you should be more famous. Your younger Dharma brother should be supporting you. Okay, so that's what the abbot meant. Agree or disagree? Yeah, this is how Chinese think. Yeah? Okay. And that's the wrong way to treat Master Shenhua. Okay? Don't mislead him. He has to, if the abbot had real wisdom, if he knew Master Shenhua better, he would have been a lot more honest. What would you do? Don't go. I need you. Okay? This is the wrong time for you to leave me. Stick around. I need your help. Because are you going to leave me like everyone else? And that's what Mingguan should have done to keep Master Shenhua around. Okay? This is when, when you cultivate, when you have a real problem, you have a real issues, you should be honest about it. Don't beat around the bush. Don't pretend, and do not try to fool people and say things that you don't mean. You lose credibility. Okay? And so this is the last straw, and so that's why he says, you're undergoing hardship? Really? You have a lot of donations in your bank account? Your statues are full of gold? Okay, they're all gilded. You have a lot of gold stuff in your temple? Okay, you have land and you're going through hardship? Okay, That doesn't make sense. So therefore, Master Shena was very direct. I says, you're not really having much hardship at all. I see you very comfortable, okay, very well off. And I won't live and die with you. I have better things to do with my life than live and die with you. Okay? What you're doing is not that important. You may want to die early, but you may want to die here in your temple, take a chance with the communists coming and so forth. But I was not willing to do that. So he said, so I heard you're going to Hong Kong. So he said, you're going to Hong Kong. And, in Hong Kong, I have this. You see how quickly he switched. He says, let's live and die together. But Master Shena says, I'm not going to do it with you. And so he said, okay, so you're going to Hong Kong. I know this guy in Hong Kong, who was his prior attendant. And then the abbot asked his attendant, something, to withdraw 10 Hong Kong dollars. That's worth about maybe less than $5. Okay? To give to Master Shena for his trip. That's how well he treated Master Shena. And yet, Master Shena stuck around to help him. Okay? It's interesting to me because at a very young age, Master Shena was already selfless. And so, Mr. Lu something put $10 in his hand and he dropped it. It's very Chinese. He put money in, you drop it. No, I'm not taking your money. Okay. In the U.S., we just go like this. Here, he took the money and he dropped it. Very Chinese. Okay, and then the other guy, the attendant, pick up the money and return to the abbot. Okay, and Master Shena left, and it's funny that the abbot Mingguan was not really appreciative, really didn't appreciate Master Shena's help at all. Used him, and it's sad when you are a monk and you take advantage of others. Okay, and that's, to me, it's deplorable. And this is why Buddhism becomes weaker, because all the abbot wants is to stuff his pockets and gain benefits from the people around him. Okay, and very much like a king trying to enjoy himself, have a good life, instead of worrying about his subjects. Okay? And this is the lesson that you monks and nuns should be learning, that don't be like Mingguan here, only using others for his own benefits. Okay, and later Master Mingguan arrived, and he was very sorrowful, very sad. I said, looking back, I think I know I should have taken your 3 advices more seriously. Although if I had done that, I would have not suffered this much. And it was very tearful. And Master Shena jokingly told him, but you still have a long beard. You must be still doing very well. Okay, so Master Shena actually felt he was not suffering at all. He probably still had a lot of money in the bank somewhere. Okay. That's why he had no sympathy whatsoever. And you from Chicago should not think that Master Hsien-Hua lacks compassion when someone comes to you, oh, I suffer so much. Master Hsien-Hua, look at him, you suffering, you have so much money in your bank account. Okay? Yeah. But not as much as before, of course. And so, Chinese joke, I guess, you read is still long. What does it mean in Chinese? Yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. So it takes, some leisure for you to keep such a long beard.
Oh.
You need to trim it and to take care of it. And so if you are in a dire situation, you won't have the luxury.
Oh, I see. So monks didn't go to a barber shop and, like the Frenchman, you have this, the moustache. I see, thank you. Okay, so the beard, he maintained a beard, so it cannot be that bad, right? Okay, very good, thank you. And then Master Hsien-Hua says, actually, I like Master Mingguan. He has a good resolve for the way. And to me, this is another aspect of it, okay? In the sense that, don't think that Master Hsien-Hua is foolish in helping Master Mingguan. He's not helping the monk who is trying to become rich and famous and be comfortable, okay? He's helping a monk who felt that he helping that good side of Master Mingguan. Make sense? Yes, 5.
I would also like to make a comment. I think the time when Master Hsien-Hua met Master Mingguan, he's already met Venerable Xu Yun, so that means he's already been certified as the patriarch.
So
he should have been treated with high respect.
No. Patriarch don't need to be respected at all. Patriarchs is patriarchs. That's how I feel about it. You patriarch or not, you still need to earn my respect. Patriarch only means that you are responsible for certain things, like maintaining a bloodline. So whatever they're supposed to do, I don't know. But for you, it doesn't necessarily mean that I respect you automatically. I do initially. But if you fail to earn my respect, I reserve the right to withhold it. And this is what I don't think is the case for patriarchs, where they put on a pedestal and they're there and they don't need to do anything. Patriarchs are supposed to do their jobs to earn our respect. All right? And so, anyway, Master Hsien-Hua, this is the lesson here that I see, that you can look at a person, Master Mingguan, and say, you're so greedy, you're such a inferior monk. Whether Master Hsien-Hua is a patriarch or not, it doesn't matter. Okay? But Master Hsien-Hua, for some reason, whether he was a patriarch or not, chose to help Master Mingguan because he saw a good side in Master Mingguan and he felt that he wanted to help. All right? So don't think that he was stupid and he was foolish or trying to scheme or anything. He chose to help because he saw that good side there that he is trying to make mature and reinforce. All right? Any questions? Yes, sir. Number 3.
Master, so he was basically praising him here because Master Mingguan was afraid of making a mistake in cause and effect. That's why he didn't do what he told, the suggestion he gave to him.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what Master Shena's advice was at the time, but basically the Master Mingguan has a big temple, lots of land, and lots of money, lots of disciples. And the communists was coming his way. They're invading China, okay? They're taking over the country. And and people were running away. So Master Shena says, you know what? You should move your temple to Hong Kong. He saw it already. Hong Kong would still be spared. So he said, move your temple to Hong Kong. And Master Mingguan said, but I have a lot of land here. I go to Hong Kong, there's no land. Okay, and so and another advice probably was sell the temple. You don't want to move it, sell the temple, get some money, and go to Hong Kong and buy another temple, start over, and so forth. Maybe at least one of the 2 advices that would make sense. And Master Shenhua, when he made those advices, Master Mingguan, unfortunately for him, was simply using Master Shenhua to his advantage at his own temple. Okay, and so at the old temple, so he didn't take Master Shenhua seriously at all. He didn't recognize. He recognized Master Shenhua's value to the temple. Okay, and from American perspective, an American would have left already. He's being manipulated, used by an abbot who had no wisdom. Okay, but Master Shena is different. He says, I saw some good things about this abbot that I felt compelled to help him because I can. Okay, and I gave the advices to help him. Okay, but this is maybe the Chinese people can help us out. So the way he explains that, he didn't listen to me because he didn't trust me. He just said he didn't listen to me because he was afraid to make a mistake about cause and effect. It could probably mean that he had a bunch of supporters, a commitment of the local people then. He felt that he was obligated to not go back on his promises. For example, when you have a big temple, usually it's because you have a big supporter who gave you money, okay, and help you with the overhead and the expenses. So therefore, you feel obligated not to desert this person, these people, or you feel a certain sense of loyalty and devotion of the people who have been supporting you and help you build this fame and reputation, all this huge property. So that's what he means by here, not making mistake in cause and effect. Okay, meaning that people helped you. How could you possibly abandon them? So instead of blaming the abbot of having no foresight and lacking wisdom, he still very classy. He said, he probably didn't want to make any mistake in cause and effect. That's a Buddhist, which means anything. Okay? Yes, JMT.
마스터, 좀 전에 설명하신 이 역사적 배경이 대승이 중국에서 미국으로 오게 된 것과 연관이 있는지 질문 드립니다.
Master, what you mentioned right now, it's about the history. Is this part is related to the Mahayana coming from China to the U.S.?
Not sure. I'm not sure it's directly connected. Master Shena just told us about his life experience, what happened during the cultural revolutions and so forth, and whether that had an impact on his going to the United States, bringing Mahayana to the United States. I have no idea. At this point here, that's all we know. All right? Yes, Way Mountain.
Hello, Master. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So,
This is the third celebration I have this week, but I'm still enjoying it.
good. So when people give to the temple, isn't it meant to be given freely without expectation of anything in return? So if there's a supporter of that master's temple and the master decides to leave, then where would be the karmic offenses if the donations and all that was given without expectation on the layperson's part?
Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the exact conditions, but when as a monk, when you receive money to build a temple, that's you basically have a debt. Okay, because you take someone's money for your work, and that person, when that person gives you money, his or her family suffers a loss of resources. So I sort of wonder myself, what have I done? What do I need to do to make sure that they're not suffering a loss? Because if you're a monk and all you do in your life is, I'm here and you're supposed to support me, you're supposed to give me money, and because it's your duty, because I'm the Sangha and you're supposed to support the Sangha, I think that's old-fashioned. That's all the old ways. It doesn't work anymore. Okay, no one nowadays, no one is willing to do that. In particular, even if you do that, you're going to have a problem with your spouses. Okay, and that's a big issue for us. Okay? We're supposed to help you cultivate, but if all we do is take your money and to make ourselves comfortable and do our work, to me that's not enough. Okay, only because I don't have any virtue that I feel that I'm entitled to your money at all. Okay, and so Andres, I don't know exactly what is it the nature of how Master Mingguan got there and was able to build a big temple, but very simple fact: if the bigger the temple, the more people you owe to, not just money, but their support. There's people that needed to help you with all facets of it would take to build a temple of that size or that big. Okay, and therefore there is certain expectation on those people. Look, from your perspective, you help build a temple, and so you expect somehow that the temple is of some use to you or some use to the community. And that's minimum, yeah? And now all of a sudden you decide to sell it, or maybe because Master Shena suggested you to do that, you would hesitate, okay? And that would be not fair to your donors and to your patrons. So yes, that's the polite way of saying it. Okay? Yes, continue.
Well, it just sounds like a really complicated situation. So was that monk in the wrong? Should he have followed Master Shenhua, or do you think it was just smart for him to stay to help the people that were there?
He probably would not be wrong, otherwise Master Shenhua would have not made a suggestion. Okay? However, if let's say he were, if Master Shenhua was in that position, and he says, I see trouble brewing, I'm going to lose his temple anyway, okay? They will come here and chase us out and confiscate the money and take all the gold ornaments on the altars and so forth. So this temple is lost. So therefore, instead of letting it be stolen, which then will make the thieves suffer big time, let me sell the temple, maybe return the money to my donors. That's one way. And or I tell them, listen, this is not going the way that we're hoping to go. So let's sell the temple, recoup some money, and move to Hong Kong together and cultivate in Hong Kong. There's so many ways you can do, right? As long as if it's consistent with the intention of helping or serving the community. All right? And so Master Shena said, he has his own reasons, it's reasonable, okay? Because it would be wrong to do that. He felt it would be wrong about cause and effect to do that. But on the other hand, had he taken at least my first suggestion, like moving the temple to Hong Kong, like and that all the previous temple was called Liu Rong, temple to Hong Kong, would have been still an abbot today. Okay. And he wouldn't be this as poor as he was. All right? Questions and comments? If not, let's continue.
在大屿山打禅期的时候，我想要把大屿山给他，他还苦恼不敢接受。
When we held the Chanchi on Lantau Island, I wanted to give him that place. He even got afflicted and dared not accept.
所以他道心很好，就是福报差一点。
So he did have a good resolve for the way, just short on blessings.
这个人没创作力，他若有创作力，他还有办法的。那么我在美国，果荣返来的时候，我都叫他去见他。
He was not creative. If he was creative, he could still have done something. When I was in the U.S., when Guo Rong came back, I would ask Guo Rong to go see him.
果荣和他没缘，告诉我听不懂他讲啥。
But Guo Rong had no affinity with him, telling me that he couldn't make out what Venerable Master Mingguan was saying.
我是8月18离开广州，第二天早晨19到香港。
I left Guangzhou on August 18th and arrived in Hong Kong the next morning on the 19th.
我本来头一次到香港，又回到广州。
The first time I went to Hong Kong, I went back to Guangzhou.
Okay, I think it's moving on to the next story. Okay, and so this is so much Shenhua. So Master Shenhua managed to build a way place in Lantau Island. Okay, Lantau Island is the outskirt of Hong Kong, and I'm sure back then there's lots of land available, so he was able to build a way place in Lantau and Lantau Island, and so he's doing a Chan Qi. He was doing a Qi at the place, and again, this is so Mahayana. You train people. Master Shena was doing it already. He's doing a Qi, Chan Qi on his way place, and he offered his way place to Master Mingguan. You see, this Master Shena, he has infinite compassion. That's the only explanation, because he saw that Master Mingguan was suffering so much that he could not manage the kind of support he got earlier. So, whereas Master Shena had a way place on his own, and he said, you know what, you need this way place more than I do. So, to me, it's fascinating. He's willing to give away his own temple to an inferior monk. And that's all out of compassion. That's the only reason I can think of. This guy, because Mingguan is used to having a comfortable life and getting the support, given things. So Master Shena says, you miss those things, so let me give you some. The best I have, all I got. Take it. Isn't that beautiful? You're suffering so much. I don't have a whole lot, but this is all I have. I give it to you. Because you're suffering so much. How many people do you know who's like that? I tell you how many I know, including myself. Okay? Isn't that fascinating? Ask yourself, can you do it? I know I can't, because I look at Mingguan, I said, I have obligation. My first reaction, I'm obligated to my donors to do something with my land here, my properties in Lantau Island, right? I can't give it to you. Master Shena is a different person. He says, you need it more than I do. You're suffering so much, okay? Here, take it. And that's compassion. And that's why I just learned today from listening to this. I said, okay, so compassion will allow you to renege on your obligation to your donors. Wouldn't that be cool? Got that? Huh? Out of compassion. Whatever I owe you, Mr. Donor, we even. What a beautiful way to erase your debts. Out of compassion. You don't find it fascinating? To me, it is so beautiful. Can you justify that? To Master Shena, it makes sense. For us, we sit there and let me tabulate. If I keep it, I can do all this good. I give it to him, he can do not as much good. Or how do I pay back my donors and so forth? No, Master Shena says, this is the property of the Triple Jewel. The donor didn't give it to me personally. I'm only the guardian. And therefore, he's a representative of the Triple Jewel as well. So therefore, he can be the guardian as well. Isn't that interesting? You see, it depends on how you analyze the problem, solve the problems. It's not running away from your responsibilities. Same mindset. Okay? Yes, JC.
마스터, 저는 사람을 죽였습니다. 작년 초부터 관을 할 수 있게 되었고 그로 인해 여러 가지를 실험해 볼 수 있었습니다. 자성이 두려움을 느낀다든지 진공을 관한다든지 불보살님의 명호를 관하거나 42수환이한 능엄주, 대비주도 실험해 보면서 법을 훔쳤습니다. 자동으로 염이나 관을 하는 걸 실험해 봤는데 그게 악효과가 났던 것 같습니다. 그러면서 마의 경계에 빠졌고 그 이전부터인지는 몰라도 그때부터 모든 행동이 훔치게 되는 걸로 바뀌었습니다. 문제는 제가 했던 수행들이 만화 귀신의 능력을 사용하고 있었던 터라 그들이 전쟁이나 화재, 지진, 태풍, 폭설, 폭우 등을 일으키게 했습니다. 그로 인해 수많은 사람이 죽거나 다쳤습니다. 제 책임을 인정하지 않고 그동안 계속 도망다녔습니다. 이제 뭘 하든 그들은 멈추지 않습니다. 제 추측으로는 제가 전생에 히틀러였던 것 같고 그들은 저를 진심으로 죽이려고 합니다. 심지어 지금 말하는 게 마인지 귀신인지 구별도 잘 안 갑니다. 거기다 저는 절의 도움을 받으면서 출가는 안 하고 편하게 살려고 삼보를 이용했습니다. 죄송합니다.
Master, I killed people. I was able to contemplate about tree emptiness, 42 hands and eyes, Shrangama mantra, all these things. I stole those Dharma. And I think I entered demonic state. I cultivate and I'm using demon's power. Due to this demonic state and the power, it caused earthquake, storm, and various natural disaster. Due to that, many people got hurt and died. I think I was Hitler in the past life, and I'm not really sure at this point who is talking. And the demons try to kill me. And sorry, I stole the Dharma, not leaving homes. Thank you.
So what do you want me to do with that information? Mr. Hitler.
무슨 말씀인지 이해를 못했습니다.
Come to think of it, he does look like the demon. Huh? Don't you think? What's your point? You're not the first person who tells me tales like that. I used to have a disciple who told me that he's God, he's Jesus, and so forth. All right? So, what do you want me to do? What do you expect? Say something in German for me.
저는 독일어를 할 줄 모르고 그냥 조금만이라도 솔직해 보고 싶었습니다. 그냥.
Master, I don't know how to speak German. I just want to try to be at least show some honesty.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Don't worry about it. You think too much. Okay. And so, going back to slide 360, he got afflicted. I don't know what he found out. He's probably got upset. I don't know why he would be upset. Okay. And the clue is he dare not, Bugan Chiesho, he dare not accept. Meaning he felt ashamed that Master YongHua treated him so well in spite of the fact that he took advantage of Master YongHua the whole time on purpose, deliberately. Okay? And if you agree with that, okay, he allowed Master Mingguan, Master Shena allowed Master Mingguan to take advantage of him and use him to impress his donors and his followers and so forth. And Master Shena knew that, okay, but did it anyway. Okay, so now when he's at Dire Straits, Master Shena gave Mingguan his own place, and he felt remorseful. He felt ashamed of himself. If that's the case, okay, you buy that scenario, because I'm not Master Shena. In that scenario, I'm just like my ex-Hitler friend. I have a very fertile imagination. I read this and I see all these movie scripts. Okay, I'm in the wrong profession. Okay, after I retire, I might take up movie director or script writer or something. Okay, something creative for a change. Okay, and so it's interesting that after all that, Master Mingguan finally, when he was suffering so much, that someone showed compassion, showed empathy to him, and said, "Oh wow, he's really a good guy after all." And he really cared for me. And that's why Master Mingguan became afflicted, because he was angry, but he was ashamed. He felt ashamed of himself. Then we cannot claim that Master Shena wasted his time, can we? He did all that. Ultimately, it helped Master Mingguan look at himself to see what kind of person, what kind of monk he was, what kind of abbot he was. And he says, "I'm ashamed of myself, and I don't want to do this. I don't want to continue to take advantage of this good monk." That alone, that thought of shame, created boundless blessings of Master Mingguan, because until then, Master Mingguan was basically using up his blessings to build up temples and get money and get gold and so forth. Okay? Tremendous wisdom. And so Master Shena conclusion is that he did have a good resolve for the way, meaning these monks, you may disagree with them, you may not approve of him, of them, and there are plenty of abbots like Master Mingguan, but they meant well. Okay, they wanted to propagate Buddhism. They wanted to speak Dharma to help others. Okay, in their own ways. Maybe they fell short because they lacked wisdom. Okay, but they wanted to do good with Buddhism. Okay, so that's what Master Shena saw in the old abbot. He says, "You have good intentions, okay, and therefore I happen to be here, let me help you." Why is it important? That's how later, when he became an abbot here in the US or in Hong Kong and so forth, others came to help him. The lesson I just learned today from listening to this story is that Master Shena has a lot of blessings. Agree? Lots of blessings. That's how. How do you know he has lots of blessings? Unlike you, unlike me. How? That's why he says, he's kind of short on blessings. Mingguan is short on blessings. But Master Shena has a lot of blessings. How do you know? Lloyd, are you working? Are you listening? Huh? 5.
Thank you, Master. Once in one of your Dharma talks, you said when Venerable Shenhua was 6 or 7 years old, the 6th patriarch went to talk to him and said, you will later on go to US to propagate Mahayana. That's an indication whoever gets taught by 6th patriarch is a huge blessing.
No. Don't need 6 patriarch to certify, to show that you have blessings. Anyone else? How do you know? No, never mind about Master Shena, but I'm talking about anyone. Yes, 8.
So, thank you, Master. When people has a lot of blessings, he always like doing the right things, make the right decision. Yeah. Like you told last time, when the rich people has a lot of blessings, they eat a very fancy food, but it's tiny, delicious, but it's not.
What do I know? You believe anything
portion.
I tell you? God.
Like you are talking about when people have a lot of blessings, they eat food. They always eating the food when benefits to them, give them like good health.
Okay. Do you have any money? Do you have $100 bill? Can I borrow one? Just napkins? You're so poor. You're so poor. I rest my case. When you have a lot of blessings, you give without hesitation. You don't think, if I give, what do I get out of this? You simply give. When presented with an opportunity to give, you give. It's because you have so many blessings, attached to what you have. Does it make sense? That's what Master Shena did. He had so many blessings. That's why I said, this abbot here is kind of short on blessings, okay? Because he doesn't understand, okay? So Master Shena says, and this is exactly what happened to the old abbot. I keep on telling him, this old monk, is he back or is he still in Vietnam? He's still in Vietnam, okay. I kept on telling him, I said, when you go to K-Land, I want you to not give the K-pops and K-moms any relics. Did he listen to me? No. Because every time he gave relics, more relics came. He said, it's funny thing, when he first gave me his 10,000 relics collection, about 2013, so 10 years ago, he said, I have about 10,000 relics here. I want you to have it. I said, really? Are you sure? I was poor, I was unknown, everything. And he said, yeah, you can help more people with that. So I help people with relics? I don't know anything about relics. But he gave it to me, his relics. The entire collection kept me with a few. And now he ended up having more relics than before. So the point being, when you give, more comes. You give right, hey Lord, pay attention. Okay? More will come your way. And that's why it reinforces you so that you're not afraid to give. Because when you give the proper way, like Master Shena, more comes your way. Like the old abbot, he gives relic, he says, I want you, good things to happen to you. I just want to give you them because I like you and so forth. Okay? More relics came his way. Okay? That's what happened. It's three.
Emitofuo Master, does this apply to worldly things too? Like we work in a corporate America where we give and give. I just feel like I'm being used. Does that also come back, or it's only for spiritual things?
You probably used because there's a conspiracy from corporate America. Right? You know more about that than I do. What do I know? Let me talk about things let me blab away, okay? Don't take it seriously, okay? It's a different story. It's not like that. The nature of capitalism is that we're all used. It's not you alone.
So like, do we apply this principle, what we learn here, or we also play the same game?
That's a system. It's called capitalism. You exploit laborers. Okay? This country is built upon immigrants' labor. Okay? What is it? The immigrants boarded the Mayflower from England. They came here. And then after that, they established, and then they brought in the Irish people, because at the time, Ireland was going through a famine, so people were dying left and right, so they moved over to the U.S. to the East Coast, and they were free labor, cheap labor. That's how they built a lot of things. And then later, the Chinese, her ancestors came and they built the railroad on cheap labor. Okay? I don't know how Indians were used. Okay? But that's what happened. And this is the land of opportunities, actually the land of cheap immigrant labor. And this is why it's funny. Maybe it's not that funny. But nowadays, the Hispanics are being exploited. Okay? And they hate it. It's unfair. The Vietnamese, when they exploit it, they don't hate it. They say, I'm going to get back at you. I'm going to exploit your children. Okay? So different people react differently. But that's, you look at that, it's pretty bad. But look at all the good as well. So it's always, you're so radical. You always look at the good side or the bad side only. It's always, there's a balance. There's a good side and there's a bad side in everything. So you exploit it? Yes. So is everyone else. But in that process, maybe they did something good, like AI, like, I don't know, something good enough to help. So it's always that delicate balance between evil and goodness. There's no Buddhas unless there are demons. Buddhas actually depend on demons. I'm no Buddha, but this is my theory, my conspiracy theory. You guys only worry about politics and so forth, especially go for us people. I'm much bigger. I'm into Buddha theory, Buddha conspiracies. Okay? So, as you cultivate more, I hope one day you get to the point and say, oh, I love it when you abuse me, like Master Shena, like you use and abuse me. It no longer bothers him because he sees good things out of it. Okay, I hope it helps. Wei Mountain.
Thank you, Master. I wanted to express my gratitude for Fochi and for the giving Dharma, because I was brought up to keep on to take and to con others, but I didn't buy it. So the giving Dharma has worked out worked wonders for me and those around me. Thank you.
You're welcome. How often do you wear the black sash and the black robe and the sash? Today's any particular occasion?
Today and Shakyamuni Buddha's birthday, and about 4 or 5 times.
Wow. Very nice. Very classy. Look at that. He says, I don't have much to give. What do I give? Adorn the way place. And by the way, the garden looks nicer. Thank you, folks. Looks better. Actually, someone made a comment this afternoon. I met our neighbors across the street. He says, I like your garden. It looks nice. And I immediately went back and looked at the garden. Oh, she was right. I usually walk by. I have no idea. I don't pay attention to anything. I walk by like I'm floating on the air. And I went back and looked at the garden here in front of the temple. Good job. Looks nice. I hope it gets even better. Oh yeah! Yes, Wei Mountain.
Hello, Master. I have a question about Buddhism conspiracy. I heard of a
Piracy or conspiracy?
Conspiracy.
Okay.
I heard of a story which was, I believe it must be Yongming Yanshou, so it was Amitabha Buddha. So he was an official, and he was basically stealing, using the government's money to buy lots of animals and liberate them. So my question is, how does that work with stealing money from the government?
It's a Buddha, so he can do anything he wants. I'm not going to touch him. I have my limits. When YongMing great master YongMing, he is also Pure Land Patriarch. I would not touch him with a 10-foot pole. Okay, nice try. Yes, 5.
May I ask a question about one line from the rebirth transference? It says...
yes, Master Xin is here. Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay.
She'll be doing the great transference very, very soon. Thank you for reminding me.
九品莲花为父母. It translates to English as the 9 grades of lotus flowers as parents. What does that mean?
Because that's what it means. What are you not clear about? This Chinese is so clear to me. You China person.
I don't get it. Please elaborate to all of us.
Is she the only one who doesn't get it? China person. Eight.
Thank you, Master. So, in my understanding, is the Pure Land Dharma door, the Amitabha's wall. This says, if you go to Pure Land, you can be in 9 levels. So, from the upper or middle, upper lower. So there we told be 9. It means when you go to Pure Land, you were born in the lotus flower. So it's just like parents give birth to you. It's a lotus give birth to you. So you were given born in Pure Land by the lotus. That's my understanding. Yeah.
Very nice. Look at that. All new to Buddhism. Okay, brand newly minted. He only took refuge something like a few weeks ago, and he understands Pure Land Dharma door already. Huh? Excellent. Exactly it. In our world, settle down. In our world, we're born by our parents' hanky-panky. You know what it means? Talk to Master Z, he'll explain to you later. That's Apple of San Jose. So in our world, we're born thanks to our parents, okay? Whatever, okay? You sure you don't understand? Seriously? Whereas in the Pure Land, there's no such a thing. You're naturally born on a lotus flower, meaning that birth here refers to all of a sudden you come to the world, okay? Because he'll tell you later. But in the Pure Land, you spontaneously appear in the world on top of a lotus flower. So the elegant thing is that it says the lotus flower are your parents. That's Chinese elegance. Yes, ma'am.
May I ask a follow-up question?
Of course.
So you sent my late grandmother to the Pure Land. The time when she passed away, she was 93. So according to this, the sutra, so she was stabbed on the lotus days. And then, so now if she arrives at the Pure Land, the flower opens, she came out, right?
So, like the womb is like the lotus flower.
So will she came out as a 93-year-old or a 3-year-old?
93-year-old in Earth age, but 0 years old in Amitabha Pure Land's age.
So she looks like a baby, or?
It depends. Don't worry about it. When it happens to you, you find out. Okay, don't worry. The more we talked about is gossiping, and then you said, if I said this, what about that, on and on forever. Don't worry. Okay, you find out. Okay, and can I finish my point here before I forget? My point I was trying to make is that how do you know that, because it's learned here, from this line here on the slide. He says, he has a good resolve for the way, just sort of blessings. And you combine this with the prior slide, this is my conclusion. I said, what I learned from this lesson here, from the points here, is that Master Shena is willing to give away his temple in Lantau Island that he needed to work. He gave it away anyway. Okay, and so that's why I arrived at the conclusion that he had so many blessings that he can give away a big deal like a Chanchi way place there. At the time, I'm pretty sure he's not that well off yet. Okay, so he was willing to give away, but that process there of giving away shows that he has a lot of blessings. Okay, even though that temple was a big part of his asset base, he's willing to give it away out of compassion for someone. And because of that, okay, later, he planted the seeds later for him to go to America. And when he had a need of a bigger way place, people helped him. That's point number one. Just because you have blessings is still not enough. You have to plant the seeds for the blessings to mature this lifetime. Is that clear? You all have a lot of blessings. We all have a lot of blessings. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here together. I assure you. You're probably richer than I am, more blessings than I do. Okay? But the fact that because we created a lot of blessings in the past already. Yes, you have a lot of blessings. This is why we're here cultivating, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, and so forth. It's from prior blessings. Okay? We have a lot of blessings, I assure you. But those blessings need conditions to ripen. And so by here, Master Shenhua willing to give away his temple because he has a lot of blessings, but also that process right there is create the conditions for him later to receive help with building better temples. Isn't that interesting? You have to do something. Just because you have blessings is not enough. You have to create the conditions for your blessings to ripen. Okay. Sorry, there was a question from somewhere, WMT or something? JMT, WMT? I'm sorry to make you wait. No, you changed your mind?
She changed my
You
mind.
made the same comment. You wanted to make the same comment. Yeah? 네? Okay. Are we there yet? Not there yet. He was not creative. He could still have done something. And then now this new topic. And then Gorung came back and asked Gorung, probably a Cantonese person from Hong Kong, to go see him. See? And he cares. He cares for losers. I mean, I call them losers, but actually he cares, Master Shenhua is such a decent living being, decent monk. Yes, Wei Mountain.
Master, it means that we are very low life. Is there a way that we can have our blessing mature? What do we need to do in order to make our blessing mature to be able to continue in this path?
You asking me?
Yes, Master.
How would I know? If I know, I have a big temple already. I'd be so famous already. How would I know? Okay, I'm still trying to figure it out. And when I do, I will write a book, memoirs, Master YongHua, how to be the formula, the secret formula to success. and fame and profit. You get the point of the answer? Who gets it? Am I the only one who understands myself? See, I read, you don't find it funny. I read, we all read the same slides. How come I tell you stories that somehow make sense to you? And when I talk about myself, about my book, you don't get it. That's easy. Huh? You don't cultivate expecting to be successful. That's wrong. That's worldly. This is what business people do. They do this because they expect a certain return on the investment. In finance, we call it ROI, return on investment. This is why Google recently hired a CFO, Chief Financial Officer. You work for Google? Never mind. Because she's been with this pharmaceutical company, huge one, and has a very tremendous track record. Okay. This is how they make decisions, because it's beneficial. Okay. It's advantageous. Whereas what we do, okay, what I teach my students to do is act the exact opposite. We do things because we take losses. So when you ask me, how do I become successful, make sure I succeed in what I'm doing, I'm not qualified to tell you. I'm not qualified to answer you. You didn't get that? Vietnamese subtlety. All right? So I like this part here, where when Master Shenhua, he went to America, he struggled a lot for 6 years. He lived in a basement, paid rent every month, barely got by, okay? Never bothered him. Actually, he was very happy, let me assure you, okay? And he finally got a lot of disciples, and one of his disciples, Go Rung, was Cantonese, went back to Hong Kong. He said, oh, I know someone in Hong Kong. Go look up Master Mingguan for me. Okay, so he cares. Kind of cool. When you go back to Mexico, I will still think of you. And this is the end of the story. But Gorung has no affinity with him. He couldn't understand what Master Mingguan was saying. It's funny, they both speak Cantonese, but he couldn't understand Master Mingguan. Okay? Well, maybe he couldn't speak Cantonese. Who knows? But the point here is that, to me, although Master Shenhua cared for Master Mingguan, but Master Mingguan ran out of blessings. He could no longer benefit from Master Shenhua's success or blessings anymore. No longer deserved to get it. That is Chinese wisdom of Wu Zuo. They're wrong, but you don't punish them, you still help them. Whereas for us worldly people, you're wrong, I will punish you. I will sue you. Korean person, I will sue you. Yeah, cool. Different world, different kind of wisdom. It's beautiful. I feel so lonely. All of you looking, yeah. Is that all you have? Go on. Is there more to this? Like the person in WM2 asked me, how can I be successful? There's got to be something more than this, right? No, only losses, my friend. That's all we know. Take losses. Yes, sir. The abused person. 3.
Emitofuo Master, is there a duration that we have to take class before when the blessings can become fruitful? Like I'm just kind of trying to...
Are you from the same neighborhood as the last Vietnamese guy? Is that beneficial for me to take a loss? Is that what your question is about?
No, Master, I mean...
no? Then rephrase it then. Good Lord.
When
so fast, he jumped in right away. He said, let me see if I get this right. So I take losses, therefore I'm going to gain? No. Absolutely not. You keep on losing. That's why I call them. That's what people don't realize. People, when I said these losers, they think I'm insulting people. No, actually, I'm praising them. You're a real loser. Oh, you're such a real loser. I envy you. Does that answer your question?
Believe. Just don't expect it.
The point being that when you help someone, like Master Shena, this story here is about he helping a person who doesn't deserve it, really, in world standards. Okay? And he still helped. No gain to him at all. Basically, the ex-abbot, Ming Guan, is basically a user, a loser. Okay? Master Shena still helped him, took care for him. He said he's suffering, so go look him up. But probably Go Rong didn't speak Cantonese, so he couldn't understand. He wanted, I think his intention is that Go Rong, if you can afford to buy a ticket back to Hong Kong, you probably have some pocket money, and when you see him as a layperson, you're supposed to make offerings to him, and most likely Go Rong actually has money. My guess. Okay, so he sent Go Rong to see Ming Guan to offer Ming Guan some money because he trained, his Go Rong was trained to make offerings to the Sangha. Okay? But it turns out Go Rong didn't get a translator at all. And so it's funny that Master Ming Guan blessings came to a halt, hit a wall, and said, sayonara. It's interesting. You don't have to worry about it, sir. It's the right thing to do, do it. It may look like we're losing right now, that you're a loser right now, but that's how we cultivate. And when you least expect it, when you no longer are looking for profits, that's when you have tremendous profits. I promise. What happened in all the sound effects? No, you should do talk, talk, talk. Namo la dana dola ye. Yes, JC.
네, 입주 장광호님의 질문입니다. 마스터께 질문드립니다. 서방 정토에서는 육식 변계집성, 칠식 을탁이성이 작용을 하지 않습니까? 혹은 작용하더라도 극락세계 구품 층계에 따라 미세하게 작용하는 것입니까?
Master, at the Pure Land, the sixth consciousness, which is the nature that arises depend on something else, and also the seven consciousness. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a seven consciousness. And six consciousness is giving rise to the nature everywhere calculated and attached to. These two consciousness, does it functions in Pure Land? Or
I have no idea, dear. I just help people go to the Pure Land. I don't know what happens there.
전파에 가는 것을 도와주는데 거기서 무슨 일이 일어나는지는 모르겠다.
Why does it matter?
왜 이게 중요합니까?
Listen, is this a lady or should I call you?
This is from YongHua.
Too much thinking.
너무 생각을
Okay, because once you get to the Pure Land, my hands are off. I don't care what happens to you anymore. It's the Buddha's problem. Okay? Don't worry. When it's there, Emitofuo will explain to you what you need to know. Okay? Have no worries. You'll be taken care of. He'll take good care of you. Okay? Weibound.
Hey, Master.
Hey.
I was I was just previously going to make a comment about the blessings and taking a loss. I've personally myself have never really cared whether I get blessings or not from this practice, such as life. I've never, I've always looked for myself to achieve things I wanted out of life. That's obviously the wrong way to think. But one thing I've noticed myself with cultivating here is it's helped me to take a loss better. It's made it easier for me to take a loss, which I find much more valuable than anything else. That's all.
At least you learned something. My disciples, they don't seem to get it. We can't take losses forever. So don't get me wrong. We take losses. We're not much a Shena. So don't overdo it, okay? Do it in moderation, please. Especially those people who've been asking me about being taken advantage of and being successful and so forth. Yeah, compromise. You take an advantage, so take advantage of your subordinates or your boss's back. So that's life. Yeah. So I feel that to me, cultivation has to have a balance between the plus and the minuses. When we can't keep on losing forever, naturally, and because we have obligations to our family, and therefore there's a balance where you need to manage. That's all. That's part of cultivation. Okay? I hope you don't get the wrong message. I'm just expressing to you my admiration for Master Shenhua. I never had a chance to be close to him. He never allowed me in. And for me, this is a luxury for me to hear about what happened to his life and how he behaved. It's so insightful to me. What kind of how great of a man he was at such an early age. It's fantastic. He's real Chinese creation. It's something else, whatever they did over there to give rise to such a great man is incredible. And so it's wonderful to be able to share it with you, whether it makes sense to you or not, or whether you can do something about it or not. It's not that important. It's more important is to see an object of beauty, maybe. That's my interest. I see such a beautiful human being. Whether it's useful to me or not, not that important. Can we just enjoy like the garden because it's there? That's all. Can we live like that? Relax. At the times we are abused and used and manipulated, okay? Don't let it bother you. That's life. When you're strong enough, when you have enough blessings like Master Shenhua, abuse me, use me. Okay? Conspire against me. All right? Have no fear. Clearly, Master Mingguan was taking advantage of Master Shenhua the whole time. He stuck with him. For whatever reasons, I assure you he's not stupid. He still did it. Maybe he owed him. You know, you talk to the Buddha, says, clearly Master Shenhua owed Master Mingguan in a prior life, so now he's paying him back and let him take advantage of Master Mingguan, take advantage of him. It doesn't matter. It's you don't need a reason. The Chinese, in particular, the Chinese people, the Buddhists would like to hear a reason. It makes sense to me. That's why I owe him. That's why now I have to pay him back. To me, I don't care. Can you let go? It doesn't have to make sense. Can we enjoy some beautiful act, some beautiful human being that you rarely see? Isn't that good enough? And this is what I feel what's lacking in Chinese Buddhism. You have to have a reason. The Americans also need to have a reason. The Indian needs to be logical. It doesn't make sense. Why are you taking advantage of me? Okay? It's life. We are taken advantage of, and we're in a capitalistic system. We take advantage of others as well. Huh? How do you think you're able to sit on that thing right there? It's probably from Chinese prison labor. Probably. Okay? And tomorrow when you have lunch, because you just got here today, tomorrow you have lunch that, will you be cooking tomorrow? She's sleeping already. What happened to Rula? Is she here or is she going to go? She's cooking now. Tomorrow you'll be cooking Vietnamese food. The Vietnamese, when they buy groceries, they go to the cheapest place. And thank God for that. For me personally, okay? They go to buy very inexpensive vegetables, okay? That's probably imported from Puebla. So we're taking advantage of the Mexican labor. It goes round and round, so don't feel so bad. Relax. Okay? Stop blaming others. It's life. And I want you to learn from this man. He's this great man here. He's not stupid. He knows exactly he's being taken advantage of. But he's still, okay, I have a chance. I'm here, I help. Because I'm waiting for my time to do things. Until then, I help. Relax. We don't always have to win. That's why let's lose and lose and lose until it no longer bothers us like this great monk. Okay? I'm so tired today. For some reason, you guys are like talking Dharma to you, like pulling, a truck uphill. It's just so hard to move you. I thought I gave my all today, and you're totally unimpressed. I talked to you about beauty, but you say, still doesn't make sense to me. I give up. So let's do this. Let's have Master Xianxin come up here and do the great transference. Master XZ will stand there in the middle, okay? And I will retire to my room, licking my wounds. I have to do better tomorrow. Take it easy. It's okay. It's no big deal. Okay. Losers. Thank you. Okay. Tomorrow, let's continue from 364 again. Okay, because it's a new topic. Yeah. Thank you.